Hello everyone. Welcome to yet another Impulse session here at our Tech Conference 2021. My name is Esnaf. I'm a board member at Tech Academy, and this session will be about data-driven production management within the service sector. And actually, personally, very much looking forward to this session because it tackles issues actually every company eventually faces. It's about implementing and maintaining smooth processes. And in a time where meeting the customer's needs is way more complicated than before, it requires more advanced operational systems to make those solutions for customers even possible. It's the same things, it's the same with the topic of employee experience. So great people development now is more than just having 2 feedback talks a year with your manager. And since these solutions are also evolving, it's important to have great processes supporting this. And to find a solution or to tackle the solution, Matthias Scholz from BearingPoint will provide a scalable solution in the next 20 minutes. Matthias is a senior manager at BearingPoint and is a real expert in process optimization and process design. He started his career in banking in 1998 and improves processes for companies at BearingPoint for more than 30 years now, actually. And I'm also very happy to welcome BearingPoint at our tech conference because they were one of the first partners of Tech Academy. And we've now had several great workshops together, and we're really enjoy working with you. One last remark from my side. If you have questions, please put them in the chat immediately. We will gather them and ask them in a short Q&A session after Matthias' Impulse session. So no question will be lost on the way. But now I'm handing over to Matthias. Matthias, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for the introduction, and hello and warm welcome from my side to our session, Data-Driven Production Management within the Service Sector. And maybe you have seen the first keynote speech of the day from Google Cloud, and remember the page, the slide about the data lifecycle. There have been 4 big areas, and one area has been the operational excellence. And that's the topic I'm talking right now. The topic, the operations units, so the production management within the service sectors. So we call it also the middle and back office. And in the last years, we did a lot of process optimization or automation projects, and they are still going on, or large transformation programs, with focus on process automation using single technologies like OCR software or workflow platforms or robotics, RPA, and interfaces to SAP and so on. And we call this isolated automation. And now we see with the maturity within the programs that our clients and as we start to combine all these technologies together to increase the automation degree. And we call this integrated automation. If you now working with OCR and workflow integrated and also RPA. So I think this will be going on, especially like in the financial service sector where my focus is on for the next 2 to 5 years, I guess. But what we have seen and what we know already is that after all this process automation and our goal to increase automation, STP, straight-through processes, we will not reach 100% process automation in operation units. Several reasons. It depends on the product complexity, on the client structure, and how many exceptions do you allow, how complex individual are your clients and their demands, and do you allow these individual wishes. So it's also impossible to standardize the processes in the operation units so strong that you reach the 100% process automation. So I guess we will reach something between 30 and 70% depending on the processes. That also means, that was what we realized, after all these transformation programs, there will be 30 to 60% human workers, manual tasks left. And we started to think about a concept, what will be the next level? And that was the beginning of our concept, data-driven production management. And besides the mentioned pressure to increase efficiency, which will be going on the next years, we also see some more trends influencing the way of working within the operation units. Of course, there is an increasing demand on the customer side in terms of quality and speed our services are delivered, and also transparency, like I guess in some areas like an order at Amazon, you have a 100% forecasting when your product will be delivered, and you have transparency within all the time where your product is right now. So I guess these customer wants for also other services, for example, in the banking services. When do my credit card will arrive, or the new PIN, and can I follow it? And on the other side, we have an increasing demand on the employee side. Of course, they expect, they have more expectation on the IT systems to support them in their tasks, and the user experience, of course, in the front end, but also the variety of their tasks and so on, and new ways of working with agile transformation. The demand for flat hierarchies started, and of course we have seen higher demand on the flexibility regarding in terms of time and location where our employee wants to work and when to work, and this is of course accelerated by our pandemic situation. So all these trends together, we started to meet these challenges and develop our concept of skill-based production management. And we structured our concept along 4 dimensions. First of all, the organization. Of course, today, you probably all know that a lot of operation units are organized in hierarchy levels with team, department, and business areas. And these are very unflexible, and the collaboration among all the departments or areas is really low, on a low level. So we want to break down these silos, we call it, and want to open the collaboration and want to introduce more flexibility among all the teams, departments, and through all the organizations within operations unit. Second dimension, process management or process control. Today we have a process manager, process owner, and he's routing through the process, and he's responsible for the process. And each human worker working with a workflow tool is assigned in his team to a special working list. He gets the orders, and if he's available, he takes the next order. He has like 50 orders in his working list, and he gets with we call it pull principle, his next order and prepare it. And of course, it takes a while, like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, to decide which task he takes. And we want to transform this to the push principle, that the order is pushed to him by the machine. And I will explain it soon, because this is one of the core elements of our concept. Third dimension is, of course, when we change the way the order is pushed to the employee, we will change the interaction between human and machine, and we call this the human in the loop principle. And last but not least, technology, the fourth dimension, is of course the big data is key, is basis of our concept because it is data driven. So what are we doing with all the data we have to optimize or to change our way of working within the operation units? So here is our idea. The core idea is that not human are pulling their next order within operations. What is my next order? What is my next job or task I'm working? we want to push this task to him, because we think in the future, with all the data we have, the machine knows better which is the next task, highest priority, the right guy with the necessary skills to prepare this task, and he's available right now. And the machine knows this within a second, which is the right person for the right task. And among all teams, when you open the teams, instead of there's a team with 20 people just working on, for example, credit card processes, and I'm a human worker and I'm looking in a working list with 100 items, and I choose the next one, which takes me 30, 60 seconds. And maybe I do not take the perfect match of tasks to me. So this is done by we call it smart distribution engine, which is something we establish already right now with the workflow platforms. Today, the workflow platforms, we organize them that they are routing the order through the whole process. And when we automate the processes, the smart distribution knows, okay, this one I route through the OCR technology. This step, there's an interface, I can route it to insert the data in the core system. And here I can use a robotics, so I push it to the robot. And here is a task to have to be done manually. I push it in a work list, and there will be a human worker getting the order out of the work list. That's how we do process automation today. And we want to go one step further, and the technology is ready. We just have to use the data which is available. And therefore, we need to establish or define a task skill matrix. That means after all the process optimization is done, I mentioned there will be 30-40% of the tasks or single process steps still be done by humans. We have to analyze this task, define it, add data like how critical is this task to the process, what is the priority, service level agreements, and what skills do I need to deliver this task, for example, which systems, IT systems do I need, user access rights, and further skills to do it. And I do the same with my employees, like I'm analyzing their skills and doing a profile that I know which skills on the same level like the task skill matrix, which skills do my employees have, and I define it also. And then I can define a set of rules to my smart distribution engine and orchestrating all these tasks now coming in from my client side and push them to my employees and to the right employee, to the available employee at this second with the right skills. So of course, the main objective is to increase still efficiency after all my process optimization program. And this effect will be done in various ways. For example, as I mentioned already, today a worker needs like 30 or 60 seconds to decide which order I choose next. And maybe, especially when he's working on a computer, he has the chance to check an email in between, or something on the website, or what else. But when we are changing it, that the machine is pushing the next order on his screen with a pop-up, in the second he closes the last one, we save these 30, 60 requirements seconds, like, I don't know, 10,000 times a day when you have like 2,000 workers in your operations team working on 10,000 orders per day. The other effect is today you need to balance your workload within a team like 50 people, like blocking credit cards. And you need an overcapacity by average 15% to balance the peak when there are a lot of orders, or when there is holiday time, or when it's winter time and sickness time. And you can, of course, increase efficiency in this workload balancing if you open the teams to your almost all operations, and you can balance not within a team with 50 people, you can balance within operations unit with 2,000 people. So the overcapacity you need is not 15% anymore, it's only 5%. And we see when we analyze process, a lot of process steps, like in credit card processes, you have to block a credit card because it was lost or it's a new one ordered. And these tasks are also needed in other teams for garnishment or inheritance, but they are not working together because they are different processes and different areas. So today, if you need someone from the credit card team and all are blocked, you have to wait until the next human worker is available. In the future term, you can look if there is in another team, like in the inheritance team, a human worker with these skills and can prepare this task immediately. And this is not only interesting for major corporates to increase efficiency and to reduce costs, it's also interesting for startups and fast-growing companies to scale their fast growing without excessive hiring programs, which normally is a big problem or a big challenge. And of course, it's most of the time a problem organizational and looking regarding quality. So you can also balance your workload and grow a little bit in hiring things a little bit slower. But besides the cost or efficiency topic, I think there are some more positive effect with this concept. Customer, for example, gets his service delivered faster, and especially now there's more transparency or accurate forecasting, even in financial services sector, like we have it mentioned already with Amazon. And of course, I mean, this is the opportunity, and this is the balance we should find, that it's not only increasing efficiency, you can also give something back to your employees by giving them more flexibility in terms of location or time when they are working. So if you have like 2,000 people working, and I have a student worker, and he can decide he prefers to work in the evening after lessons. You have a part-time worker, a father or a mom, they like to work after 9 o'clock when the kids are in school. So you also can offer here more flexibility, and when the employee is available, he logged in the system, the systems realize now this employee with this skills is available and can push the orders to him. So summarized, we think that with our data-driven, skill-based production management, this will be one future trend, or the future way of how we organize operations within the service sector in the, I think, mid-term future, in the next 3 to 6 years. And this will be a huge part of our future working world, and will be steered by algorithm and machines. The machine will manage the task, the processes, and the interaction between machine and human, instead of the other way around like it is today. And with that, companies in the service sector can boost their performance in the operation units significantly. And I'm pretty sure with that we can also meet the higher expectation of our customers and clients regarding the time we deliver and the transparency of the delivery of the services. And hopefully, and that's up to all of us in our companies, when we design these processes, we can increase the flexibility in the way of working in terms of location and time. And I think in the last 1.5 years, there have been a lot of good examples or proof of concepts that this can or will work. So this was a very smart, very short introduction in our concept skill-based data-driven production management. I hope I could give some insights, and if there are some questions left, so please feel free.
Yes, now's the time. Thank you very much, Matthias. Now it's the time. You can put in your questions in the chat. In the meantime, Matthias, I have another question, because I think this concept of this outline solution sounds very fascinating and interesting, because I especially like the part when you talked about fast-growing companies and making sure to having stable operations without having excessive hirings done. But my question would be, how is this working out in reality? So this sounds great, but it's still quite some effort, right? So are people, is there a bigger change process to implement this tool, this solution, or how's it? Because you're every day working on it with your customers, I think.
Yes, I mean, as I mentioned already, it's a midterm concept. So we just started working on the details, and there are many working packages within these projects. For example, of course, you have to discuss this with the management, because you are changing the responsibility, and you probably need less team or department leads. So this is an important effect you have to discuss, and it takes a while to discuss this, to change this part. You also have to discuss it with the working council, as you can imagine, especially in Germany, because you're collecting a lot of data from your employees. And so you have to assure that these data are not available to everybody, that it's anonymous. And then, of course, there's a lot of detail work to find all the tasks within a process, which have to be done by a human worker, what skills are necessary, and then to describe these skills in the profile of every person working. So we really need to develop this skill matrix for all tasks. And then we have to analyze all our people. So of course we start with small teams, the first team is like 200 people, and try to find out how detailed do we have to define everything and how does it work, like in a small proof of concept.
Okay, thank you very much. So it sounds like there's still a lot of exploring to do, and we will see what the future brings. I have another question. You mentioned it's about analyzing the skills of the people, and of course then having the data on it. And I already thought about how does this model account human error? So, for example, when it comes to, I saw in the work skill matrix, I think it was called, you need to put in the average time needed for a task to complete. You need the skill level. How do you account human error when you, for example, have some people doing the task in a faster pace and some people taking more time?
Yeah, that's one of the aspects I say, I mentioned in the beginning, that there's a trend that employees expect that the IT system is, even if the task is manually, that the IT system will help you. That means that a lot of data you have to insert, you have to choose, but you can't make a mistake because it's not text anymore. No? It's like a date field, so you just have to choose a date field. Because, of course, there will be still human errors, and then the smart distribution engine have to check the results and find if there is something obviously an error, and have to pull it back or to push it back. But yeah, I think there will be a percentage left where the error will realize at the client side. This is always the thing we try to avoid, but we never reach 100%.
Yes, of course. But I think this actually can be a great improvement already. But cool. So if there are no more questions, I would say, Matthias, once again, thank you very much for being here, for holding this session. For you, so for the audience, the day continues with the other impulse sessions and with our keynote later on. So you can just go to the sessions on the left and see all the sessions which are live now. And yeah, hope to see you there. Hope you have a great day and enjoy the sessions.
Thank you very much, and goodbye to everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.